Welcome back to the Orthodox Trucker Podcast. I'm your host, the Orthodox Trucker. Today, we're diving into a topic that blends two worlds most folks would never think to connect: the trucking industry and the spiritual life. Hey, it's what this entire podcast is about. Specifically, I want to talk about the difference between a dispatcher and a broker, and what that teaches us about spiritual direction, trust, and how we navigate life. Now, if you've been on the road as long as I have, you know the difference. A dispatcher, your driver manager or DM, is your point of contact within your company. They're the ones assigning you loads, watching your hours, taking your calls, and ideally advocating for you. They should care about you as a human being, because your success is tied to their own. When they're good, they act like a partner, a co-pilot on the logistics side of the job. They know your patterns, your limits, your strengths. They can tell when you're about to burn out or when you're ready to run another 1,000 miles. But brokers? That's a different beast entirely. A broker is a middleman, someone who connects freight to drivers, but doesn't necessarily care who hauls it. Their job is to move freight and maximize profit, and too often that means going with whoever bids the lowest. It's transactional. If someone undercuts you by $50, you're out. No conversation, no relationship, just numbers. Now let's pivot. What does this have to do with orthodoxy? With faith? A lot, actually. See, I've been thinking about how this parallels the spiritual life. In the Orthodox tradition, we talk a lot about spiritual fathers, elders, mentors, confessors, people who walk with you, people who know your journey. They don't just hand you a load and disappear. They walk the road beside you. They offer guidance born from relationships. They see you. They pray for you. And they don't throw you away when you struggle. They are, in every sense, your spiritual dispatcher. And just like a good DM, a spiritual father understands your limits. He's not going to overload your soul with a burden you can't carry. He's not going to push you past your spiritual hours of service. He knows when you're ready for a challenge and when you need rest. That kind of leadership, that's holy. That's relational. That's orthodox. But in today's world, especially online, we see a lot of spiritual brokers. People who toss around half-truths, motivational sound bites, shallow theology for likes, shares, and donations. They don't know you. They're not walking with you. They're selling fast food for the soul. It's all, send me a seed offering and receive your blessing. Or, manifest your dreams with this one secret verse. And that's not it. That's not Christ. That's not the church. That's not what our saints lived for. That's not what they died for. The spiritual broker is like the prosperity preacher who promises wealth in exchange for faith, or the social media influencer dishing out spiritual advice without ever cracking open the scriptures. They're charismatic, they're polished, but when the rubber hits the road, when life falls apart, they're nowhere to be found. Because they were never in it for you. They were in it for themselves. I've met both kinds of people in my journey. The ones who stuck with me when I was broken and exhausted, and the ones who disappeared the moment I stopped being useful. That's why I do this podcast. I'm not a priest. I'm not a monk. I'm not a guru. I'm just a man in a semi-truck trying to live the faith and share the road with others who are doing the same. I don't make a dime from doing this. I don't have a Patreon or sponsors or links asking for donations. I'm not trying to build a brand. I'm trying to build the kingdom in the only way I know how. By being real. Here's the truth. Trucking will wear you down. Long days, tight loads, dispatchers who treat you like a robot. I've had runs where I was pushed past my limits, where I had to say no, not because I couldn't do the job, but because I shouldn't. I've had to fight for my own dignity as a human being, not just as a truck number. But I've also had a lot of those God moments behind the wheel. The late night drives where the silence turned into prayer. Where the hum of the road becomes kind of a liturgy. Where I wept without warning because God was closer than I realized. Those moments are why we need spiritual dispatchers. Because the wrong voice, just like the wrong dispatcher, can wreck you. They'll push you into the median. They'll overload your logbook and your soul. But the right voice, the right one, will get you home safe. It's the difference between a paycheck and a calling. Between surviving and thriving. Between wandering the desert and being led through it. So let me ask you, my friend, who are your dispatchers in life? Who's calling the shots in your heart? Are they a broker? Someone who uses you for what you can offer? Or are they a father? Someone who loves you for who you are and walks with you anyway? Don't let the brokers of this world, spiritual or otherwise, run your life into the ground. Find your spiritual dispatcher, lean into the church, seek out the saints, open the Psalms, talk to your priest. Heck, send me a message. We're not meant to do this alone. Now, I'm not your spiritual dispatcher. I'm not your spiritual broker either. Honestly, I'm just a wayward subdeacon with a CDL and a microphone, trying to share what I've seen and what I've learned. I don't have a sponsor. I don't have a platform really beyond this podcast. But what I do have is a truck and a voice, and I'm trying to use both for the glory of God. Maybe, just maybe, like in my role as a driver mentor out here on the road, maybe I can help someone else find the path forward. Not because I have all the answers, but because I've been through the grind. Because I've taken the detours. Because I've been lost and found again. And lost. And lost again. And found again. So if this podcast helps you steer a little straighter, pray a little deeper, or just feel a little less alone out there, then glory to God. Glory to God indeed. This is the Orthodox Trucker, signing off somewhere along I-5. Keep your hands on the wheel, keep your heart in the liturgy, and remember, God's not trying to sell you a load. He's trying to lead you home. Glory to God for all things. Thanks for listening, my friends. If you'd like more Orthodox Trucker content, visit the blog at orthodoxtrucker.com. We're also on Spotify and on YouTube under the Orthodox Trucker Podcast. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Orthodox Trucker. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your week.